Thank you for coming back to another video. Uh, Thank you also if you watched the last video, which is upgrading and securing secure shell connection. In this video, we're actually going to be going over some manual SQL injection and password cracking with the damn vulnerable web app and some John the Ripper. So we're just going to be forming just a simple SQL injection attack and some password cracking. So let's go ahead and get started with the first exercise. Now, ultimately, what we want to do, our two most objectives more than anything, is to assess the effectiveness of software security and assess the security impact of acquired software, right? So what we're going to do first is take a look at the usage that we can get out of the damn vulnerable web app. So let's actually flip it over here. Now, this works using PHP and MySQL web apps, right? That have been engineered to deliberately vulnerable to be deliberately vulnerable to a great variety of attack vectors for the purpose of allowing security professionals to test their skills and tools in a legal environment, right? Just want to make sure these are running. So I connect out this here, right? And it's a very useful tool when learning and applying techniques to security testing applications when using an SDLC, right? So what I'm going to do is just activate the DVWA and connect to it. So I'm actually going to head to it this way. Oh, a couple different ways actually. So I'm going to head to it this way. DVWA, that looks good. And I'm also want to see if it works for the hypertext transfer protocol. Right. Yep, that looks good. All right, perfect. So now, since it presents me with the login page for DVWA, I know the site is up and working. So now I'm going to clear out the Internet Explorer here, and I'm going to go back over to Kali, and then we're going to just take a look at it through here. All right. So now that we logged in, let's go ahead and open up Firefox. All right, and pretty much we're going to head over to the app. All right, and as you can see here towards the bottom, all right, the site is up and working. First and foremost, it's actually a great thing. But secondly, we can see a few details. My username, right, my security level, which is pretty low, and disabled for PHP IDS, right? And PHP IDS has been turned off for these exercises. Hence why it's listed as disabled. So I'm just going to throw back up, and then we're going to do setup and resetting for the database, right? And then we're going to create and reset the database with the left click. There it is. Right, perfect. So now we have an output, right, that tells us the database has been created with users, some data, right? A guest book with data and the setup was successful. So now we're ready to start the SQL injection, right? So we're going to do this first by, let me scroll back up here. Go back here. Now, SQL injections are used to inject code into applications that then pull out data which typically shouldn't be displayed. For example, the technique can be used to find personal information of people which might be hidden from normal view presenting details like usernames and passwords. So now I'm just going to cover the DVWA for this particular SQL injection. So I'm just going to perform manual injections on the site page here to obtain information about the database and the information that it contains regarding like column headings to work out where the user information is sitting. So we're just going to do a few tests here. Going to enter into, then we see our first username or first name and surname rather of someone that has the information here. And then hack me, right? For pretty much just testing it out, see what I can get. So now we keep getting this error message, which is a positive sign and strongly indicates that the website is vulnerable to SQL injection. So let's actually do this here. All right. So it gives us not much more than what we've already been seeing so far. So let's actually push it a bit further, see what else we can get. Okay. Mm, okay. Still not much, just a surname, right? Now that we know the database is at least Maria DC or Maria DB rather, and its version is it didn't tell us the version. Should at least um oh there it is. Was he missed it? 10.1.16. All right, which is fine. So I'm gonna do another injection here. Okay. Okay. All right, perfect. So the main user here is root at local host, right? So let's see something else. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So the database is confirmed now belonging, of course, to, we should already know, DVWA. So let's actually take it further here. Okay. Wow. So it gave us a plethora of information. So we see column headings through the table of the database, and we can see that there is a lot of different headings within the database. So, if we take a moment, we can scan through the different listings and we'll see that there are columns for user privileges and a variety of statistical information that is held in the data. So we're just going to keep pushing. So let's go back up here. Okay. Okay. So now this command has brought up just information about the count column. It's like by calling on the schema, which contains these details. So now I see that I access information about pretty much the guest book and users and account fields, really. Um, so let's try this. Okay. All right, so we looks like we picked out the column only for, okay, it looks like we picked out the columns only for the users. Now, so we're going to work on that column specifically. So let's again. Okay. All right, so it looks like I'm beginning to produce really interesting results showing the information about users, first name, last name. And I can also see that they use an avatar and the field for the numbers to still log in together. But the list of connections to the system still, again, let me put again. Okay, see if we got not much, but we're getting closer. All right, so now I got the information of the first name and the password hash value. So I've just got to carefully report this information into Elite Pad. So let me minimize this here and actually here. Okay, all right, perfect. So we're good here. So now we're just gonna start doing some password cracking with John the Ripper. What that does is, and I've used this in another video prior. It cracks a type of hash right through brute force, and which I mean, I don't know how effective brute force will be now. With 2FA and a lot of different factors when it comes to passwords nowadays. But either brute force it by allocating like John a password hashless for use against DES and B5, low-fish, Carbarosa, AFS, and Windows LM hash, and it'll perform dictionary attacks by hashing the word list and comparing the results against the password hashless. So what I'm going to do now is make the password hash file using a word list, the password cracking and validation. So I'm going to extract the password hashes and make my own make my own file to save them into, which will be used by John the Ripper to scan and extract out the hash values for cracking purposes. So I'm actually going to let's actually open up the new tab. There we go. And now we got a plain interface in LeapPad where I'm going to record the information of interest. So actually, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to do a new one, but I'm just going to clean all of this up, and I'll place you guys on the other side of that when I have everything together with all of the um, extra fat on everything as far as the info here. All right, so have it all cleaned up here. Just hashed along with the username that or the name that it belongs to. Just pretty much tidying up by removing the commands listed. So now we just have what we need. We're just gonna save it. Let's see, save as. Gonna do file. Gonna make sure it's saved to the desktop. I think this is saved. This is just like working today. But we're gonna bring him down and knock him out. All right, perfect. So now I'm just gonna use the word list, right? So I'm gonna use the word list as I mentioned prior to aid in my cracking time and reduce it significantly in terms of how long it would take to break the hash values through a brute force attack. So by that, I'm going to open up. To do that, I'm going to open up a new terminal screen. So I'm not going to prepare the password list to be used um, to just make it a bit faster. The opening. All right, so change the directory our user here. All right, let's click file. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so we got that fixed. Just like slight changing or addition of the forward slash. So let's actually take a close look at our list. All right, so we have that directory, text, another place. All right, so let's actually take a look at our concept. Right, perfect. So let's change the directory again. We want user here. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Let's see what I did there. Actually, I know a quicker way. It just doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, so let's see. So what's that? Okay, let's fix that. All right, so we see the file RockQ was created. I'm just gonna close the terminal screen and move on. So now we're just gonna do some password cracking and validation, and I'm gonna need to use John's tool to crack the hash values and provide me with the passwords I need, after which I'll test the results on the login page of DVWA to validate which logs are allocated to log in and if they work. So it's actually open up a new here in terminal. Right, and let's do that. Open up John. Hey John, how you doing, buddy? So this just displays all the options that can be used with the password cracking app. That's a John app that would be used to crack the password files that was created on the desktop. We can see all that I created earlier, right? And it will be used to crack the hashes and display the password. So I'm gonna navigate to the directory where the file was located. It's the desktop. We're gonna list files, and we see the password text here, right? So now let's do the time. Do this for me, buddy. You'll be all right with me if Okay, let's fix that. All right. So now we can see passwords for a couple different users. So we see password ABC 2123, let me in, Charlie, right? And there's three remaining password hashes with no different result. So now I'm just gonna type in, actually let me minimize and open it back up. And, all right, so if I remember correctly, the board, so I don't remember that name. I had to delete them because it wouldn't, I should have just copied and pasted it to a new file to keep the name with the hash that would have eventually become the password. Because initially when I did it, it read the name and the hash, so John wasn't able to crack it because it looked weird to John. Of course, to the human eye, we know the difference, but to the computer speak. Um, so let's see, what was the three? Um, um, okay, so I there it is. So, um, so just verified the one of the passwords that I got from cracking with John, and we've now completed this particular portion. We exploited the database, we exfiltrated the password hashes and users, then cracked the password to use Pablo to log back into the database as his user account. So it's just these steps pretty much are key to confirm the security around applications and databases and are part of the security testing phase normally. Now, just the end of the video, just for a brief recap, we've we did some damn vulnerable web application usage. We've also performed a SQL injection attack, and we did some password cracking with John as well. And this will also be the final video for part two of this series. And I'll have a lot more coming out as well. So hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Stay curious, stay secure.